everybody, it's Chibi, and today I'm going to be doing an anime review on Zankyou no Terror, or Terror in Renaissance. Now, this is an anime that I personally have been hyped up for a very long time. I personally had more hype for this series than I've had for Tokyo Ghoul, Akame ga Kill, Sword Art Online, all to know. I've had more hype for this series just because of the entire aspect of what it's about. Now, if you do not know what Zankyou no Terror is about, it's about terrorism. That's exactly what this series is about. It's about a group of, I guess, kids that pretty much are being terrorists. They're destroying buildings, blowing up things, and stuff like that. Now, that's all I technically know about the series, and I watched the preview trailers, and I know it's going to have an awesome-looking badass detective, which we get to see in the first episode, and we get to see some psychological elements. So, right off the bat, first episode, great impressions. I have great impressions from it. Animation is solid, music is solid, opening is badass, ending song is great, and I really have to compliment those backgrounds. Those backgrounds of this episode were beautiful. Oh my god, the cars, the animation and CGI on the cars were freaking stunning. It really was. That was some good fucking CGI, and it was a great episode of the way they used their budget to showcase this entire episode off. And my mouth dropped when you saw that entire building come down. Now, there's a couple things I want to talk about. For one thing, the names of the characters. The two main male characters we find out this episode, their real names or code names I want to take a guess at. Their names are 9 and 12. Now, right there, that's really freaking weird why they would name themselves numbers, but at the same time, like I said, it's probably a code name or a number they were given when they were abducted by whatever happened in the past. For instance, in the middle of this episode, we find out that 9 and 12 were, I'm guessing, as little kids, they were probably used in some form of experiments, or they were probably put in the army and tortured or whatever. We don't really know the circumstances behind what was going on with 9 and 12's past, but we do know they've had a terrible past. They saw their friends that they probably grew up with when they were children die in front of them, burn alive, as we get to see one of them, and they try to climb a fence to freedom. And so we can clearly see that these kids are probably being used for some evil act from humanity, and which in turn caused them to go after, I'm guessing, the government of the world, for instance, why they're blowing up buildings now. And so it's really interesting. At this moment of this episode, you really don't know which side is truly evil or not. I mean, of course they're blowing up fucking buildings and terrorism, so technically they are evil, or maybe they're the anti-hero, which makes this series really good because we don't get a lot of anti-hero type anime. So that's what's really got me psyched up for this series, because we're having actually main characters blowing up shit. They're actually blowing up stuff with innocent people there, as we can clearly see 12 was going to blow up Lisa. He was downright going to kill Lisa if 9 gave him the order to kill her. And so right there, it just shows you that they're willing to kill people, and at the same time they're doing something for a future goal. And now they're stronger, as they stated in this episode, and they're trying to accomplish the goals, and I'm guessing help people in their own way. Now, one thing I do want to talk about, though, is that Lisa as a character is really cool. I like the way they set up her character, and they tried to showcase her in this episode. For instance, with this episode, we find out Lisa is being bullied. She's receiving a lot of texts from her mother, and we really don't know exactly what it's all about, but clearly Lisa as a child has been, I'm guessing, neglected, and at the same time she's been bullied. She's probably never fit in. We also see she has some points where people pick on her to where she's probably fat, because you see that she throws away her food and tries to throw up, so we can clearly see that she's being bullied on multiple different levels, psychological levels, and that's exactly where the psychological tag of this series comes into place, because Lisa has probably been bullied for her entire life, and she's finally at that point to where enough is enough, and she's probably going to join, 9 and 12 to do whatever they're doing, blowing up stuff. So, right there, I like that entire aspect. They need to flesh out these characters a little bit more, though, for we can understand them, but I do like the detective that was shown in this episode. For instance, that detective, we see him in the room, okay? Instantly, he looks like just a badass. The way his hair is, his character's on, everything, he looks like a badass, and we find out that he's no longer a detective, and he used to be a detective, so most likely, he's going to come out of, I'm guessing, either retirement or being fired, we don't know, but he's going to come out of whatever happens, become a detective again, and probably get on the case to hunt down these two that blew up this building. Now, here's the thing, okay? The big question is, why would these two, 9 and 12, put a YouTube video up on, the entire aspect that they were going to blow up a building? That's the big thing out there. You think that'd be a fatal flaw. For instance, let's get into the actual, I guess, realistic aspects of this, okay? If they were actually, uploading YouTube video, okay, they technically did, and they said that everything will go dark at like 3 o'clock or 3 p.m. or whatever, and then everything will blow up at a certain specific time, or like you'll see sparkles or whatever. So what that means is that they actually gave a time frame of what everything will happen in that event on that video. And so, if someone would have found that, a really smart guy, for instance, the detective, they could have actually figured out what was going on. So, what was the point in putting a video up like that? That's the big thing right there. You don't really understand why they would do that and try to, I guess, make themselves caught. For instance, I mean, if that entire signal, when they uploaded that, it is traceable. It can be traceable from the source it was uploaded, so I don't understand exactly why they would do that, because if this is going to stay realistic, that detective or whoever's going to discover that, they're going to say something, they're going to trace it to where it was uploaded, and at the same time, you're going to have it to where they will get caught. But the big thing is, the reason why I say they most likely will not get caught, it's not because they hit their faces. The main thing is that they stole a certain object at the beginning of this episode, a little sphere object. It looked really scientific about the organization. They were trying to hide it at a nuclear facility. So maybe that is what they're using to hide their residence, where nobody can find them if they upload things. That could also be it. We don't know. But whatever that device is they stole at the beginning of this episode probably is going to play a major role in the future, and it's something deadly, because it was from a nuclear fucking power plant, and they had to wear radiation suits to be even in that plant. So, yeah. So anyways, it's a good first start of this series. I loved the first episode, and I'm looking forward to more. It was a good episode. Great impressions. I would recommend this to all people that want psychological, you want some action, you want some good animation. At the same time, you're probably going to get a very good plot, and maybe even an anti-hero. So anyways, everybody, tell me your thoughts on this episode. Did you enjoy it? Did you hate it? What was your favorite moments about it? I love all of you so much. Have a wonderful day or not. Chibi out.